Everyone. I thought I would give you an update. So I had my first chemotherapy treatment on Tuesday. Today is Friday. So I had made a video about it the next day that was very, very detailed, and I was trying to kind of edit it down a little bit because it was just too long, and I decided to just start over and just kind of give you an update of the week. So I went in on Tuesday, my appointment, I started at, I was supposed to be there at 10:45. I got there about 10:30. We had the exciting fire alarm after. So here's the procedure though. So just to kind of update everyone, and I think this might be helpful to people that are going through chemo, this is the procedure. So you go in and you have your blood work first. So they bring you back and they draw some bloods. They don't, at least this time, they didn't use the port. So I have this port here that's installed under the skin. You can't even really see it there, but there's a port in there, which is made out of plastic and has a little access, easy access for them, but they need to sterilize the area first. So usually with the first blood draw, when you first go in, they didn't use the port. They said that it's faster if they just do a regular blood draw. So had the blood work, the bloods were drawn, they send it off to make sure that, you know, you're functioning well before they start the process. And then you go back into the treatment area and they access the port, you know, sterilize the area, get their like IV in there, and give you the pre-medicine. So for pre-medication, I want to make sure I get this right. For pre-medication, I am given orally a Benadryl capsule and a Pepcid tablet. And injected into the IV is dexamethasone, which is a steroid, and something called Aloxi, which is an anti-nausea medicine that they say lasts for several days. And I can attest that it has lasted for several days. And then at that point, they give the order to mix the chemotherapy drugs, get them, you know, to the pharmacy so that everything is mixed kind of as you're there. You're already in the chair, then they go ahead and prepare the medications for you. And all of this is like quadruple checked. So the doctor gives the order, the nurse confirms that you're who you say you are, then they send it to the pharmacy technician prepares your medication bags, the IV bags, and then a pharmacist actually reviews what the pharmacy technician did. It's like all on camera. It's really elaborate. And sometime around, because of the fire alarm, sometime around 1 or 1:30, I think it was, it says here 12:45 was when we started. So it was a little later than it was supposed to be because we were standing outside for an hour. But I started first. So with this cycle, the first 12 weeks of chemotherapy is once a week for 12 weeks. And during that time, I get immunotherapy every third week, starting with week 1. So this Tuesday, I had Keytruda, and that was infused over a half hour. And then paclitaxel, which is a chemotherapy drug, and that infuses over a full hour. And then carboplatin over another half hour. So it's an all-day affair. Just figure that. If you're looking at going for chemotherapy, it's a while. Bring something to do, bring something to eat, because they do come around and offer you snacks. They have a kitchen there. You can use their kitchen to prepare your own snacks. But they have a stocked fridge, and they have a little, you know, snack cart that comes around with lunch. But none of it is anything that I would eat. The sandwiches probably, you know, I could pick apart a sandwich maybe and eat the lunch meat if I didn't have food or if I was starving. But I brought my own. I brought 2 hard-boiled eggs, some bacon, I affectionately refer to as my purse bacon, and some leftover steak that I had from the night before. So I brought my own food. They did come around again. They had, they had tuna fish, which is tuna salad, which has mayonnaise in it. I wouldn't eat that. I wouldn't have even eaten that before carnivore because typically there's soy in every mayonnaise that's on the market or that they would use. And I think there was also turkey sandwich or some other type of lunch meat sandwich, but I skipped that. And it comes with potato chips in the little container. And then they had ginger ale, diet ginger ale with sucralose, apple juice, orange juice, maybe low-fat milk were the options on the drink cart. So I didn't get anything. I did take a couple of bottles of water and ended up not needing them because I had my own Stanley Cup 40-ounce water with my electrolytes. So and I just refilled that from their ice machine, actually. Just went ahead and I asked my husband for some ice, and he came back and it was full of ice and water. I put some more electrolytes in there and just stayed hydrated from my end. So that was what the infusion was like. I came home, I felt pretty good. I was a little tired that night, I think mainly from the Benadryl. And then overnight, that first night, I did wake up in the middle of the night with a migraine. I actually woke up twice, and by the second time, it was bad enough that I actually took a migraine pill, which is rizatriptan, which I have prescribed. I don't take them frequently, but I usually, since starting carnivore, so I used to get migraines all the time, but since starting carnivore, I really only get them around my cycle. And certainly the stress of going to chemotherapy could also induce something. And this migraine was around the front of my head and on the back of my neck by the second time I woke up. So I actually took rizatriptan and ibuprofen because the migraine part is the part behind the eyes, but the muscle tension in the neck that I really felt was probably more from stress and the anti-inflammatory of the ibuprofen. And this is, I don't always do that. Sometimes I will take homeopathic arnica. Sometimes I will use a roll-on essential oils, and those actually work pretty well. If I'm moving around and I'm up, I can use some heat and some cold, and that does sometimes work pretty good if I catch it early, but it was progressed pretty severely. So I didn't mess around. I didn't feel well enough to get all the way up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I went ahead and took the meds. Why not? So that was the first night. When I woke up at 6 a.m., I felt fine, but still very tired and drained. So I actually did not get up and go for my morning walk the day after chemo. I slept for an extra hour and a half or so. I got up around 7:30, felt good, had coffee. I had my breakfast a little later. I did some things. I did some work on my computer and had a decent day on Wednesday. I actually went to class on Wednesday night, graduated our Tricks puppies. And then yesterday was Thursday. Felt pretty good most of the day yesterday as well. I also took a bath on Wednesday afternoon, a nice detox bath with some lavender and baking soda in the bath, and Epsom salt. And that was nice. It felt good to sit in the bathtub too. So again, yesterday I woke up at 6. We went for our mile-long walk, just a mile. We didn't go more than a mile. It was sort of drizzling. It wasn't really raining, and it never really did rain, but it was sort of drizzling. We walked a mile, came back. I did some stuff yesterday, had my coffee. I always have my coffee after the walk if I go for that morning walk. So had some coffee, and then it was later in the morning. I wasn't hungry, and so I probably should have eaten before the coffee so that the coffee didn't kill the hunger signal. But I didn't eat anything until like lunchtime around 12:30. Had a couple hard-boiled eggs and some bacon, along with probably about a quarter cup of ricotta cheese and some blueberries that are in season. And it didn't sit all that well. I didn't feel about an hour after I ate, I started to feel just a little bit on the nauseous side. The nurse was very adamant with me when I left chemo that I needed to take the nausea medicine if I started to feel nauseous. Don't wait until it's too late and you start vomiting. So I took it. I took one Compazine. That's the pills, the prescription that they gave me, yesterday at around 1:30. And then I'm not really sure that I needed it. I think that some of the stomach pain and the nausea I was feeling is actually related to the fact that I got my period. So, I had, after this diagnosis, had them remove the Mirena IUD, which was inhibiting my periods. They weren't stopped completely. They were quite regular, actually. And this is the right week that I should be getting it, but it is much, much worse than it normally is. It's back to what this is 1 month in, and it's right back to very heavy, very, very crampy, gassy, lots of inflammation. I can actually see that my abdomen is inflamed, which is normal. That's what it was before I had the Mirena placed from endometriosis. So they say that chemotherapy will probably shut down my ovaries and I will stop having a cycle during chemo. But as far as this month goes, we are having a cycle. And I think that that's why I felt nauseous, because I did not need to take another nausea medicine last night. I did wake up in the middle of the night with some cramping, but not nausea. So I think that that's what's going on. So we're coming up on 12 minutes. I think I'm gonna end this video here. Today is Friday morning. I woke up at 6, but because I was up several times during the middle of the night, and because it was, we were having a pretty nice windy, rainy storm at that time, I did not get up to go do my walk. I'll probably do a walk if it clears up a little bit later, but I'm up, have my coffee, and we're gonna have a good day. Yeah, I still feel pretty good. I still feel, I would say, blah. I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like I have all of the energy and that I feel good. I don't feel good, but I don't feel awful. And so I'll take that as a win. All right, that's my chemo update.